Hearts of Oak fans, everybody was like, why are you ending the game at this point? And it became a talking point on social media. So I think he must have applied the rules as he did, but some common sense.
Very interesting. Nanedu, yeah, that controversy aside, both sides, Omunya chances, but that finish was not there. And for Olympics, it's bad news. They're in a bad situation. Even if they win, won't be to make a relegation.
When you look at the teams fighting for survival in the Ghana Premier League, it's only Olympics who don't have their own destiny in their own hands. The rest of the teams, their destiny in their hands. Karela, you win at Takwa, you maintain your Premier League status next season. The same as House of Folk, you win in Bechim, you'll be in the Premier League next season. The same as, House of Lions. At least a draw in the last game, you'll be in the Premier League next season.
We are assuming, all of us here, the two nanas, that Dreams, Hearts of Oak, Karela,
Dreams, they have one outstanding game tomorrow. So if they win that game, they are out of the relegation.
That's right. So we're assuming that Dreams, Hearts, Karela will win their last games, and Dreams will win their next game. That's the assumption. That's the calculation, the pundits, the experts' opinion.
From the 11th position, from Heart of Lions.
But Olympics on 41, they can only get to 44 on goal difference. So it means that all these teams, Heart of Lions should get a draw. If they get a draw, they're safe.
Yes. If they get a draw, they are safe. Let's be realistic about this table, right? Dreams are automatically out of the relegation dogfight. They won't be relegated. They are beating RTU tomorrow.
RTU are relegated.
Yes, they beat Ejana on Sunday as well. So they stay in the Premier League. Hearts of Oak.
Bichim.
I'm commentating on that game. I don't want to call that game. But I do not think in the wildest of anybody's imagination will be thinking that they are losing that game in Bichim and they are going to be relegated. No.
They have it in their own hands, as it were.
Legon Cities are staying in the Premier League. They are winning at home. In their next game, they stay. Let me tell you what, Yaw. The real relegation dogfight is between Karela, Olympics, and Hearts of Lions. You might not necessarily agree when I say Hearts of Lions. You know why I put them there? If they lose against Brecum Chelsea in Brecum, Olympics beat RTU. Okay? Hearts of Oak win in Bechim, Karela win in Takwa, they go down based on head-to-head with Olympics. That's Hearts of Lions.
And we are assuming, again, these are all the permutations you've been watching and listening to, the commentators, the football people. They're all saying that Dreams are safe. Hearts of Oak would win away in Bichim, and Karela will not miraculous. Let's give them credit. They are fighting for their lives. They would go to Midiama and win.
The fact that Hearts of Lions have been able to go to Takwa and win should tell you Karela have got what it takes to go and win. Karela won in Dew. They equally won in Domahin Crow.
Very tough.
So if they win in Takwa, it's not going to be like a fluke or people might read meanings into it. They've won games on the road this season, regardless of where they played. So it's difficult, but this Ghana Premier League season has been really exciting. I'm particularly happy that it's going down to the wire as far as those who get dropped is concerned. For Samatex, they've done their job already. But we're thinking about who drops alongside RTU and Bofakwa at this point.
The last day of the season, there's no talk about Kotoko. It's only Hearts of Oak who are in the relegation. But the Fabulous Boys were also in a bit of a tricky situation, but they've managed to pull themselves out. They only lost once after they had that big meeting with Otumfo, I believe. That was against Great Olympics.
That is against Olympics and Brecum Chelsea.
Right.
They lost last minute to Brecum Chelsea in their game in Brecum. So after meeting up in at Mencia, it's the Olympics game and of course Brecum Chelsea game that they lost in the Ghana Premier League. A draw in Takwa against Mediama, a win against Samates in Kumasi, and of course they went to Nailugu to win against R2. So it means right after that meeting with Opimiso, things are working well for the club. I'm sure they will pick up what didn't go on well for them in the course of the season and work on it and make sure they have a better season next season, because you can not go 2 continuous seasons and team like Asante Kotoko, you don't fight for the Premier League title. Looking at the players who've assembled, the amount of money you are paying them monthly, you need to be doing something in the Ghana Premier League. So supporters will be expecting a lot from them next season.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And you're wondering again though if this AstroTurf gives really good football, but look at this build-up. RTU are certainly, if you watch their body language,
One of the
they're
best
playing.
AstroTurf we've seen this particular season.
Yeah,
That is what you've seen with your eyes.
but
Speak to the players and they'll tell you about this.
yes, they're not happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
On
reality.
TV it is good, but you know, AstroTurf comes differently, and each one has got their own dynamics with regards to how the player feels when they are playing on it. And I've spoken to players about this one in Narelugu. It doesn't look like it's up there.
Yeah, and they would obviously appeal for next season. I mean, it's something we'll talk about, off season. But RTU body language, they are relegated.
RTU got drowned many weeks ago. You know, when they realized they had gone down, they started pressing the panic button, but it was too little, too late. They went out visiting ex-presidents, statesmen who hail from the north to salvage their campaign because financially they were going down, nothing was working for them. But RTU, they got it all wrong right from the beginning. After they lost a chunk of their first team players last season, they did little to reinforce because they were financially handicapped. They lost Roland to Go Stars. They lost Nuruddin to Asante Kotoko. They lost Kwame Boachi to Nations. They lost Abaya Asset to Great Olympics. They lost their goalkeeper to Go Stars.
Yeah. Administratively, there was a problem.
Yes, technically, administratively, and among the playing body. And when you have a team going through these phases of crisis, they're unlikely to survive.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Gold Stars. They're safe. They've done well. They were going through some sort of problems, and this celebration also took on social media attention. Alex Essel's goal and the celebration that I'm sure he got a yellow card for it, but it's quite an interesting one for the pundits and the bloggers to talk about.
Maybe any Gold Stars, I think one of the coaches we need to praise for this second round of the Ghana Premier League is Coach Frimpong Manson. In the first round, they were struggling under Michael Osei. The leadership of the club, Mr. Alex, Kwesi Edu did a lot of work in convincing Frimpong Manson to come and join the club to coach them to the end of the season, and maybe probably continue the following season. They have quality players. They were able to augment their squad, with experienced players to make sure they do well in the Ghana Premier League, bringing in the likes of Ronald Frimpong, Aso, and Vincent Atsenga, moving from the club. They need to bring in other players who can work hard for BBN Gold Stars. So they have quality and experienced players in their squad, but in the first one they were struggling. So for him to come in and make sure he turns things around in the second one, massive achievement for Frimpong Manson and of course Alex Kwabnedu.
Yeah, you want it, Nana. With all the problems they had, they were also one of the teams that could have gone off if they hadn't quickly put things in place and brought in the experience of the former Kotoko captain and player.
They did, but I think they had a lot of expectations before the start of the season. It was unfortunate Michael Osei had to leave, but if you dig deep into, the problems that existed at Gold Stars before Michael left, it wasn't purely down to Michael Osei's technical inefficiency. It was beyond that. It gets to a point players just don't respond, and it's difficult to pin down that to the coach's inability to
invest more in the team and sign other quality players, even though some players will leave the club. Reports coming in, Prince Kwabno who is likely to move to a different club, and they would like to sign other quality players to help the team next season.
Well, they are 10th, so they're definitely safe, and I'm sure, as Nana was saying, they would hope to do better than they've done. But BBN Gold Stars, another a team that has brought ambience and a good vibe to the Ghana Premier League. So we know for sure Royal Tamale United out of coverage area, Bafokwa Tano out. Let's talk about them. Bafokwa, so much expectations, the way...
during commentary, I was like, this is Adriafo. That's the Bafokwa coach.
Right.
And Adriafo was the Interlice coach, right? That took Interlice to the first division. He was coach of Interlice when they got relegated, okay? And Adriafo was the coach of Kotoku Royals when they got relegated. So I stopped there and I was trying to figure out how Bafokwa are going to survive when he's got all of these statistics.
Yeah.
Then Opoku reminded me, Nana, don't forget, he was also part of the technical team of Prosper Ogum that won the league. So I forgot about that one. But here we are, For the third time, Eduafo is with a team that is going down relegation.
So they should have done their homework.
I know.
Yeah, it's about the
After
finish.
the first
You know,
4
like I
games
said,
in the
if you speak to
Premier
Eduafo, he's also going to tell you
Problems.
You genuinely think it's got to do with me? Because don't forget, this is a team in the MTN FA Cup finals.
Yeah, and they were banned for a number of weeks.
I think it's got to do with the misbehavior of the fans. These are the things that get the traditional teams with the Michels. So, but for the, like I said, their appetite, not almost appetite, no, episode, it is to be more Premier League. But realistically, they were not
Ready.
prepared. Into almost Ankono.
Yeah, we need to look at
But
that.
they started well. After the first 4 or 5 games, they were even on top of the Ghana Premier League.
Starting.
They had
It's
2
the
wins in a
finish.
row.
In the
A
last
win
5 years,
against
in the
Arsenal.
last 5 seasons, Unim teams almost started Ghana Premier League
So
on
well.
that top.
So the
Let's
finishing is
finish
the
it.
most important
Yeah.
thing.
Yep, it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were top at the point, and
Yeah.
the venue was seen as a den, very difficult, and then
Yeah.
they started
When
stuttering.
you watch their game against Asofo, you will not understand the
I think
reason
they
why
have
a
deep
team like
problems.
Yeah, beyond football, and it's a shame.
Financially, they were
Yeah.
constrained big time.
Yeah, RTU same problem.
Same.
Other clubs the same, but we don't hear about it.
That's it.
Right. Okay, it's the GPL headquarters. We'll talk about the Black Stars in a bit. They are top of their group after the first round of games. No more matches in 2024, mind you, but they do have a back-to-back Central African Republic and Comoros, Mali coming to Kumasi, and of course Madagascar. So those are matches to look forward to. We'll also activate the phone line so you can tell us what's on your mind. This is GPL headquarters. I'm here with Nana Dakwa Jesse and also Nana Edu Brago, right? Yeah, we'll be back in just a second. Republic. What happened after the game, or at least the respect that Central African Republic got after the game, obviously is one that they earned the respect of Otto Addo, who said it after the game, as well as the fans as well. When it was 2-1, 10 minutes into the second half, you know, if the Black Stars hadn't gotten back into the game, you felt that these people could get a counter and perhaps make it 3-1. But that was the starting lineup. Any surprises? I mean, Nana, I know that the winning team from the Mali encounter was one that most people expected, but Otto Addo decided to make changes.
I think Otto Addo has shown maturity and growth after returning for his second spell. He took a decision that ultimately he took responsibility for it, and it really helped. This penalty was caused by a player who did not play from the start in the previous game.
And give him pressure.
He came to create Ghana's winning goal. So in his mind, he's a player who needs to start. And if you look at how Fatal played under Enzo Maresca for Leicester, he used him on top of the attack to be pressing. And that's exactly what he did. But my problem was why he allowed him to operate from the left, when we all know Fatal's strength is to operate from the right and cut him with the left.
Yeah.
And equally,
so he faded a bit in the game.
Kamal, I didn't expect Kamal to start because I was expecting that Nyama had a good day, not necessarily a top game against Mali. But for him to have scored in that game, you're expecting that you'd have started yesterday. But the decisions paid off, and Ghana got the 3 points.
Kamaldeen, did they beat Leeds to qualify
this pass
to the EPL? Because and then this break.
I think Jiku and Salisu should be asking themselves where they were. The mistake was caught up from Kudus and Kamal combined to lose the ball. Then Salis and Alidu equally comically, you know, went in aimlessly and lost the ball. Look at how Salisu and then Alidu lost this one.
And the movement,
and nobody's tracking it down.
It was too late.
Look at how Gideon just passes in front of Mafuta and he scores easy like this. I was expecting Gideon to have done better, to have gone harder, but that would not take the blame away from Salisu and Alidu, who mysteriously lost this ball.
Yeah. But he still had a lot to do, this player.
I think Gideon should have done better. Defensively, a lot of people are raising questions about Gideon's ability to do the job as he's expected to do. He's not a bad player, but he's been struggling in the national jersey in recent times.
You really have to give credit to the striker for actually being able to meander his way through. And at this point, it was a surprise to everybody, but the Black Stars came back in the second half with more fight and more grit.
Yes, and that is what any should show him. You know, they will put up a fighting spirit. When we monitor their game against Mali, after conceding that goal before the first half, I'm about second half, no BBS sign them at the Black Stars. So BBS will say, when we are down, we find a way to play a better football, and that is what the Black Stars did. To even score 3 goals in the second half is a big statement for Tuado. How many times do you see our Black Stars in one half scoring 3 goals in a game? So it's a positive sign we are picking from this particular game, even though conceding 3 at home. It's not good for home side. So going for these things will be better for the Black Stars.
Yeah, that was exquisite.
No,
and Jordan had to.
You know, these are one of Gideon's best assets in the game. His whip on the ball. He's got incisive and very, very good crosses. And if he gets it right, then the next connection is ending on the back of the net. That has been his strength from his days at Wafa through to his days at Red Bull. He's, you know, a dead ball specialist. But
let's leave it here. If director, you can hold it for a minute. Can you hold it for us? Pause. The discipline of the Central African Republic, you can see the line
defense.
There, the defense. So you had to do something clever.
You
and
credit Jordan
clever.
with his positioning.
Excellent.
Intelligent movement by Jordan. You see, you look at where Jordan is watching from. He's watching how Gideon is going to ensure that the ball comes into the box. So Jordan is not looking anywhere. He's not looking at the defenders surrounding him, but he's only looking at Gideon here.
Who's the decoy player entering the box next to Gideon? Who's that? It's like
That's Kamal.
Yeah, it was a decoy because now the defender.
He's been thinking, is he going to lay the ball to him? So, and you're right. All the defenders were looking at a direction Gideon was going to cross the ball from. So that gave Jordan some kind of freedom. And to be fair, nobody challenged Jordan for that header.
Yeah, positioning. If you watch it from here.
Position and movement.
Yeah, so the cross comes in and Jordan still is not in position yet.
No.
But
he's still watching Gideon.
Right. let's play it in real time, and then you see how quickly he moved into position to
So he
receive.
steps behind the defender. The other one is late to catch him onto his head in the net.
And he had to get that header right.
Yeah, he's not a player who often scores with the head, so you want to give him credit for this.
And looking at what Jordan is doing in recent times for the Blasters, or one homebody.
I said that about one day. It's just that
2024,
things don't
playing
go well.
8 games for the Blasters and scoring 8. 2 goals against Mozambique, the last game in AFCON. Otuado coming, friendly match, scored 1 goal in the first game, another goal in the second game. And of course, the game against Mali, scored 1 goal, 5.
But are you
Then
not the same people who say, it was a false 9. He's not near the row. He's overused.
You know, I think the problem we've got is that sometimes we think that we know the players better than they know themselves.
Or the coaches.
Right? This argument has been flying around every time. Oh, Jordan, you're number 9. Jordan, you're striker. Jordan, ball from the wings. We spoke to his uncle this morning on the radio, Sola Ayu, who said from infancy, he's always played as an arrowhead, a center forward. But because his ability can also see him strike from the wings, he just adapts to those roles when he's assigned to. But he's always thrived when he plays as a center forward. And Jordan himself made a reference yesterday at the press conference that during his academy days at Olympic Marseille, he played as a center forward. And if you recall, when Kwesi Appiah took up the job and invited Jordan, he played him as a center forward. Go back to when Jordan scored his first hat-trick for Ghana against South Korea 10 years ago in the build-up to the World Cup. He scored from the center forward's position.
Yeah, and I think the euphoria, the vibe, the atmosphere, the push of the supporters, goaded them on to get more goals here. This is the header. The goalkeeper.
I think the support in Kumasi was massive.
Yeah.
And in recent times,
And here again, watch the movement. He's just walking, you would say lackadaisically, but the pressure was on. The defenders, Central African Republic, seem to have lost
But
concentration.
just look at the presence of mind to give the ball back to, Kudus, the 10.
And then he goes back.
No, this is intelligent. I'm talking about the pass from
Jordan.
to Kudus to set up Isahaku. He would have decided to turn a blind eye and shoot all by himself because he had his back facing the goalpost. But he sees that I'm not in a good position to shoot. Let me give it to Kudus. Kudus realizes that the ball has fallen behind me. Fatau is arriving. Why don't I allow him to take a bite? And luckily, it deflects into the net.
Yep.
And I think, the coach benching him in Mali and starting him today has also make a big statement to the Blaster team that, player B and E automatic stay in the first 11. You need to fight hard to be in the first 11. And it's working on the guys. Look at the changes against Mali, the changes against Central African Republic. So it means coach need create an environment where when you come to the Blasters camp, don't see yourself as automatic starter in the Blasters
competition.
team. You need to fight hard to be in the first 11.
Yeah, this is a good move. I mean, looking lively, looking alert. There was no foul there, clean goal. And at this stage, you knew that the tie was done. But it wasn't quite, straightforward. Central African Republic just didn't want to sit down at 4-2. Could have been 5. This header, that would have really sealed it. And they would have lived up to the pre-match, predictions. Some were saying 4-0, 5-0, 3-0. Nobody predicted that CAR would come to Kumasi and score 3 goals.
Yes.
And they were not done yet. Credit to them. They had a couple of penalty calls, wasn't given, and they still kept on pushing forward.
If you go back to the manner in which Ghana beat them in the last meeting in Kumasi, you'd know that they came really with a fight. Ghana had to beat them after Kudus and Nyama combined in the late stages of that AFCON qualifier. So when they were coming, many didn't give them the dog chance.
This is a sick free kick.
Yeah, but in as much as I would blame Ziggy that he could have done better, let's give full credit to Mafuta. This was a well-taken free kick.
A hat-trick.
I'm sure if Messi had scored this, many wouldn't have questioned the goalkeeper. But because it's Mafuta who have scored and Ati Ziggy is unable to keep it out, he's taking the whole blame.
There was
but
a lot of power in that.
He could have punched it out. He could have done better.
Yeah. This chance coming for the young substitutes. The pitch, I wouldn't blame the pitch. He had a choice here. Here, he slipped. There was a bump. The grass slowed him down.
I think he liked the confidence to go forward, the manner in which he did.
Keep
You are
on
thinking that this should have fallen to Brendan Mainu.
with the speed and...
Or is that his name?
Yeah.
Or
Brendan Thomas Manu.
it falls to a
Anthony
Semenyo.
Semenyo.
They could have done better. You pardon Tariq for this.
Yeah, at least they got. But man of the match, who would you go for?
Jordan
Obviously,
Ayew.
Right.
Jordan. I will give him about
No
9%.
questions about that.
9/10, 90% in
When was the
yes,
last time you recall a Black Stars player scoring a hat-trick in a competitive game?
Yeah, and the last time the Black Stars lost in Kumasi was, I think Stephen Appiah was captain of the Black Stars. South Africa, was it 2010?
Lost the game in Kumasi?
The Black Stars against South Africa.
It dates back to the 70s, in 72.
Right. What about Ghana versus South Africa in the qualifier when Stephen Appiah was it a qualifier or was it a
the only
tournament?
time Ghana lost to South Africa in Kumasi was at the African Cup of 2000.
2000.
When Siabonga Nobente headed the ball at the back of Sami Kufu.
That was in Kumasi.
That was in Kumasi.
So that's
but
the last
it was an
time.
AFCON.
Right.
Not a World Cup qualifier.
A World Cup, good. Yeah. That's still a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
That
special
was in the year
times.
2000, 24 years ago.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
24 years ago. Jordan Ayew, 27 goals for the Black Stars. Just 2 goals behind Anthony Yeboah. So
Okay, Nana, I will not argue about Sulemana, Samed, no, Seydou. Let's talk about Thomas Partey and Mohamed Kudus.
I gave Partey and Kudus 6 and 6.5 because, if you want to be truthful, they were the game changers in the second half. Partey stepped up his game big time. You look at the pass from Kudus to Gideon and Gideon to Jordan, it was like, telepathy at its best display. And Kudus took the game by himself in the second half. You look at the 1-2 he played with Jordan to set up Isaac Fatau for that goal. He was actually directly involved in 2 of the goals in the second half. And I think that his performance in the first half was far below what he put up in the second half. The reason I gave him 6.5. For Thomas Partey, I think he's not lived up to it in the last 2 games. And this is a slightly above average performance.
He's warming into that
He's
role.
gradually warming himself into the team.
To be fair, I mean, even with Arsenal, they had to warm him up getting towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
So positive that the 2 wins. Fatau, that's 7.5. That's above average.
Yeah. In the second half, he was in his elements, especially when he moved to his area of choice, where he feels so comfortable operating from. And like I said, Otuado is a smart guy. He realized that Fatau was not flourishing at the left-hand side of attack. What do you do? What has Leicester City been able to do this season that has propelled them to the Premier League? Fatau operates from the right-hand side where he's more comfortable, cuts in, and he's able to shoot with his left foot or lay an assist. And he scored from that side in yesterday's game. So he really ticked the box for my grade.
Yep. Elijah Owusu getting 5.5.
He brought stability and calmness into the midfield.
Moomin
is the one to watch. In the next few months, Moomin is going to be a mainstay in that Black Stars defense. I tell you what, he's the most technically sound central defender Ghana has got now. But because of lack of experience with the Black Stars, I'm not saying a lack of experience generally, because here's a player who won the man of the match in a game between Real Madrid and Real Vallecano in the Spanish La Liga. He actually came up against Vini in a one-on-one banter throughout the entire duration.
Several times.
He kept Vini in his pocket.
Right.
So for him, I think it's just a matter of time. He's going to warm up himself into the Black Stars team.
Anedu, before we have some views from the street as far as reactions to the Black Stars victory is concerned, let's quickly take a look at Nana Edu's ratings as well, and then we take a look at the Vox Pops out there on the street.
I think, right from the goalkeeping department, Atizigi, I will give him, average on the day. And Alidu Seydou, the same as, Gideon Mensah. Between, Alexander Djiku and, of course, Mohamed Salisu, I give Djiku 6 over 10, and, of course, Mohamed Salisu 5 over 10. That is average for me. Thomas Partey, I agree with Nana Dakwa, the same as Kudus Mohamed. I'm a Samed 6, and, of course, Fatah Ishaku 7. Jordan Ayew, my man of the match, I gave him 9 over 10, and of course, Kamaldeen Sulemana. I think among the first 11, he was our weakest link on the day. So I will give him 4 over 10, but it was a brilliant performance from the team. 4 goals in the game. I think so my idea. Jordan Ayew performance or put it up Nadia all year with the Black Stars in recent times. Yes, that is one side of the issue. And for him to play 104 games for the Black Stars, 9th of June 2014, he scored a hat-trick against Korea. 10th of June 2024, another hat-trick against Central African Republic. 10 years exactly. He's scoring a hat-trick again for the Black Stars of Ghana.
And
Massive
he's
achievement.
gunning, I think he's the record all-time scorer. If not that quite, you can. Yeah, he's got a few more matches to go.
27 goals for the Black Stars, 2 goals behind.
But he's got a long way to go. He's got to go past 56 by Baby J.
Two behind Tony Yeboah.
Yeah.
And Tony Yeboah is a legend as far
But
as...
he's gone past his brother. So
That's interesting, isn't it?
Impressive.
Yeah. But, they might be back in the Black Stars in future. We're not too sure, but that's up to coach, or to Ado at least for the next few years as he's the coach. The streets have been talking. Let's find out what the streets are saying.
We need convincing performance. You understand? We don't want to sit by the TV and be getting heart attack. We are Black Stars. And if we are Black Stars, by halftime, I should know how the match will end. By halftime, we should be dominating 2-0, dominating the team. Second half, you know that the team is overwhelmed. And there's going to be 3-4. We want the Abedipele and the Tony Boys and the Sule Muntaris Black Stars. Whereby when you the supporter, you go feel go sit by the TV with empty stomach. Because when you know Black Star wins, choppers, paps, all of them are going to make money. Because we will go and spend money.
Sport now, Black Star bueno. Go now watch what was on the way there, watch it. But go to send us people change the person. It's the person our board now when the fact. Or if you do come to boy and you open was there. I mean, quite there. Yeah, because I what boy you are tap a code goes so I can't what a canoe, my 4.
To me, the Black Star boys are very good. We hear and maybe Uncle Makade, they are not preparing them. They should forget about World Cup. They won't prepare boys. Because of their age, they can play long. But the problem is, as a team, dog or side, because leading to 4-2. Not a big arm. So if I love the 5 minutes, and what I've noticed is the defenders, guy, 4 and 5, they always stand flat. Football and them, or the last person to control the 4. Oh, yeah, the Munkusi Jumani na. In Tabibia would not flat. If your boy did 2 man, or 2 of him, but the boy went through. Mokasha go. And it's in Queen Cochado where you may.
We are staff and 9 now, will be a bobo. It's here and a brass above match if you say Dean, Ghana, Dean, into bit Marco Banco for no. There be a see who say, Colano, my dear pa. Let a bomb away and a certain 4-1 dear, the feet say a 4-3, a hand. And yeah, dear, a bad cry, a boy homework and pa. But this I wish I had that top. It's me piece of Otado, so as a coach, near everyone says, see, I mean, who says, Ghana feels so, me say, I see a bomb on the answer, young Casayadiano, demonstration. You bet my idea, and yes, yet my family, because I a black coach, or a Ghanaian. I know born on homework and the tactics of UCR. Or Bassa can't happen, once a game in the bed, ever society. So I shall say, one Colana born homework. Now, Jordan, or ya dear pa, I never come home, say Jordan said, young fan champs and says, Nebra woman and the bob a different. Nebra name one, the bob, and then a brand in him, no, say, or you're no hopper, Shannon, Yamma, a big can, a bushia, a biscuit, my own sort of theatric.
First off, now, first off, me, I'm sure when I'm in the machine, and say, I shall first go in Yaji. Say, and do 15 minutes now, I have to take Cano. I say, but you're president qualified. You was ever qualified, I could use in Canada. And you place my idea. You miss your one boy say, idea, you but I'm motion in my yepe.
At the end, the old ball, serious. And gas old ball into wash your wine, do the diagro. One union body out. And in your style now be using the bachelor say, you're ready. Oh, yeah, who's all yard into the door, but until you're on the ball and gas over go wash your wine. Oh, you're good. That be
Blaster, you know, on Yanni Calent Blaster week. And to say, your coach, your Madina said, we see a team now by your former Blaster now, on Madino yet. No, yes, as I gonna for you, but Joshua and a Domo call stadium. Or Cheddars still gonna for Yak made the Blaster. John Madino says your Blaster. May say you're winning, say, who still you were ridiculous.
Okay, interesting there. And yeah, we have so many coaches, don't we? But it's not just Ghana. Look, if you look at the group table, following that draw between Mali and Madagascar. That's what it looks like. Remember Madagascar, the Black Stars beat them with the late goal by Inaki Williams, if my memory serves me right. That started the campaign. But the Black Stars then lost to Comoros. Look at the Comoros. They're in 3rd position. And as I said, 6 more matches to go. And you look at this and surely you think the Black Stars are in pole position. It should happen. But we've learned, haven't we, that football, no, Nigeria, they lost to Benin. They're struggling. They may not, make it. It's a very difficult situation for the Nigerians. Egypt, they drew, I believe, the Pharaohs. So it's, I think, was it Lesotho or Malawi? I mean, all the teams are really getting up. Chad, so the Black Stars would hope to get maximum goals in that game, home and away, try not to concede and build up that momentum at the top. That's an opportunity for 6 points that Otuado will be working hard on. They've not won a single game. They've not drawn a single game. So Chad, the Whipping Boys, I'm not saying they will, but per the stats, Nana, we should be able to get 6 points and a lot of goals from that game.
No disrespect to the rest of the pack, but this World Cup qualification is in the hands of the Black Stars. It is for them to lose it. I do not think where Ghana has got into at the summit of this table, the rest of the pack can come and overtake the Black Stars. Throughout Ghana's journey in qualifying for the World Cup,
one, it's possible that our attack becomes very swift and fast.
Okay.
So in these 3 areas, I want us to really look into: 1, technical discipline from the coach. 2, Partey should step up as a real Blaster captain.
Okay.
3, Kudu should be a team player and work rate should be higher.
All right.
Without that, I don't think Blaster will go anywhere. Because yesterday, if Car had a little bit of 10-15 minutes, he would have lost that game.
All right. Thank you very much for your views. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Nana, win, lose, or draw, you can't please everybody. That's the reality. If Black Stars had won 5-0, I'm sure people still would have had issues.
it's good people are trying to find out the individual errors of these players and how they think they should conduct themselves on the field of play. But hey, 3 points, what more do you expect? I think it's a technical issue that Otuado knows himself. He's got to work on it before the Black Stars remain in games.
Yeah. And
but
it's
these
better.
are genuine concerns these fans are expressing.
No doubt. Okay, young comedian, Francis, hello. Hello, Francis.